Hello. I wanted to tell a story. It is a story, actually. It has a beginning and an end. And it has to do with Jen, and it has to do with somebody else, and it's an odd story. And I really labored whether I should even talk about this. But it with me means something. And I question whether it was psychic, spiritual, or just a giant coincidence. And I don't believe it was a coincidence, and I'll say why. It wasn't a coincidence. I'm certain of that. Well, 98% certain it wasn't a coincidence. But I think the things in the spiritual world, I think we're all interconnected, all of us, in some way. And I don't think in our mortal lives we'll ever really comprehend it. And we don't really need to comprehend it. Really, we just need to love God and seek to do His will and do unto others and as we'd have them do unto us. And that's really it. And live your life. So, but just for thoughts and discussion, this was something I thought I would set down anyway, because it's something that, I'll just get into it. Since I met her in 2014, I had liked the band Lynyrd Skynyrd. I liked Southern rock. They were even a little bit before my time, but not much at all. They were definitely before her time. And she liked them, but she wasn't really crazy about them. She liked older music, 60s rock, hippie stuff. Janis Joplin, the Beatles come to mind. Other than that, the music she liked was music she knew as a teenager and in her 20s, of that era, which was 90s and 2000s. So this has to do with Lynyrd Skynyrd, the band. In 2014, I met Jen, and from that time on, every time I saw a video of Lynyrd Skynyrd playing on YouTube with Gary Rossington, their main guitarist. They had three. There's Gary Rossington, Alan Collins, and Steve Gaines joined the band just before they had the tragic plane crash. So at any rate, but Gary Rossington was an original member of the band. And I want to say in all his videos, he wears a cross. And I did a little reading on him. And he doesn't wear that cross for jewelry like some pop stars do. He wore the cross because he had a relationship with Christ. And I read an article where he said his mother always read the Bible to him. And his relationship with Jesus Christ was fundamental to his life. He said that people got the wrong idea about him and some of the others, that they're some kind of crazy, super sinful group of people, and they had their problems, but they said they really weren't that kind of people. They were good people. I believe it. It's so easy to stereotype people. So Gary Rossington, every time I saw him, this is where it gets a little strange. I drew some kind of weird connection. I felt a strong connection between him and Jen. And I have racked my brains since 2014 till very recently why I got that feeling. I could not shake it. Every time I saw him, I felt a connection with Jen. And I don't think Jen looked masculine at all. I'm not saying it. She didn't look like a guy. He doesn't look like a girl, despite having long hair of his time. That's not it. It was a very, very, very strong connection between him and Jen. And I never could figure it out until recently. So, Jen passed on in 2023, suddenly. Well, I found out actually not too long ago, a little while after Jen's passing, I found out that Gary Rossington had just died. And I said, oh, well, there it is. They both died in the same year. Even though he was much older, obviously. And then I looked into it, and you know what? They both died on the same day. They both died on the same day. And furthermore, I can tell you this, they both died of the same thing, heart failure, on the same day. Now, you could say that was just a massive coincidence, but I would say perhaps it is, and I wouldn't even be telling this, if not for the fact of the feelings I had connecting him to her in some way. It wasn't a coincidence. And here's the other thing. I mean, I didn't find out that he died the same year till, a few months after she passed. I didn't find out that he actually died the same day after that even, and I looked deeper into it, and they both died of the same thing, a sudden heart failure. So, was that psychic or what? I don't know if I would call it psychic, but I picked up a connection. I think we're all connected in some way. I think relationships with people has connections that I don't think we fully understand. I'm sure we don't. And I think this had something to do with that. So I'm going to play a video with Tuesday's Gone, which became my theme song for missing her and really grieving this song by Lynyrd Skynyrd. And Gary Rossington is obviously in it playing guitar, and there's two guitarists. Alan Collins, who's gone now, he died in the 90s. He had a tragic life. So did Gary, actually, but he survived. Alan Collins comes on, he's got the blonde hair and the white pants and shirt, playing guitar, and Gary Rossington has the brown hair and a black shirt with white, playing guitar. And, these guys didn't know it, but they had that plane crash the same year, pretty much. They had less than a year to live. And the lead singer here, Ronnie Van Zant, he was killed. And so was one of the women that are singing. And the women were married to the bandmates. So these guys weren't a bunch of, hoard up rock stars. I mean, they married the same woman. You see them in the singing. Those were their wives. They weren't roadies. And I think Gary Rossington stayed married to her. She didn't get killed in the plane crash. One of them did. So it's a very soulful tune. I remember I was in France, and they didn't speak much English where I was at. And there was a DJ playing. He must have had 2,000 or 3,000 old vinyl records. And he asked me to pick out anything, and I found that. One More From the Road. And I asked him to play that song. And I swear I broke down in tears. It was awful. I don't generally cry over these things. She's the only one I've ever acted this way over. I mean, my mother. But I got over that because my mom was pretty old and she wasn't doing well. But when somebody young dies relatively young and very suddenly that you love very much, man, it's really hard. Harder even. And my mom appeared to me, and I knew she was in good state. But he put that on, Tuesday's Gone, and boy, did they love it. They said, "What is this? We've never heard this." I said, "This is Southern rock," and I was all watery-eyed, and my friend who was with me explained to them in French that I just lost somebody very close to me, and that song took it back. I had a mushy moment. I don't really care. As you can tell, I don't care how I look, to the public, within reason. If I'm doing something dishonorable or to dishonor myself, yes, I care. But to show emotion and love, no. To tell the truth, as long as it's not hurting anybody, I don't mind that either. I'm not going to tell the truth if it's going to cause problems for people. But to tell people like what I'm telling on this video, it doesn't bother me. So that's that. I'm going to let this song play. It's really takes a connect. But here's the other thing I forgot to mention. That after I found out that Gary Rossington, the guitarist in this Tuesday's Gone video I'm going to put on, after I found out that he died the same day, exact same day, and of the exact same thing that she died of, I knew what the relationship was. And every time I see the video now, that feeling is gone. I mean, I still love this song. It still makes me think of her. But that feeling, I can't put it into words, is gone. So you'll see he wears a cross here. He had a rock solid belief in Christ. I've heard him say that in interviews, and I've read it. And in some of the lyrics, some of the songs he wrote, he mentions God in them. This one's not about something, but okay. Without further ado, here's that song, and I'm going to put some pictures of her in it as well. And this is kind of for myself, really. This YouTube channel is also a scrapbook for me, for my life as well. So I'm gonna put some pictures of her in this at some place in this song. So I've got some other things I want to talk about, and it might be done this way with my phone on this dash thing I bought for $10. Hold your phone on your dashboard. Oh, I'm gonna show you something up here. There's something up. Speed limit's 45 miles an hour. And if you're going over that, if you hit 50, they put up these cop lights, police car lights. And I always make it a point to hit 50 to make them go off. So here it comes. Oh yeah. Pull over, buddy. Here's speed. All right, God bless. Here's that song.
Do a number off the first album for you. left alone. Well, when this train ends, I'll Tuesday's gone. Train roll on, a many miles from my home. See, I'm riding my blues away. Yeah, well, Tuesday, you see, but she had to be free, Lord, but somehow I got to carry on. When Tuesday's gone, Tuesday's gone, Tuesday's gone, she's gone again. My baby's gone with the wind. The train roll on. Listen, my baby's gone. Trying to ride these blues, baby. Right on train. It's a ride right on train. Oh, that lady's gone.